Happy New Day. What a great day to be live. What a great day. I'm Yanisi Oracle of Love and Free Will, and so glad to be here again in this land, alive and breathing, and knowing that I am a part of the all. Today is May the 11th, 2020. What a great day of joy, a great day of excitement, a great day to know and experience what you came here to do, incarnated into this earth to do what you came here to do, and that it is to have joy, to have abundance, to have bliss, and to be excited about your life and not looking at things that are around you, but those things that are inside of you. So Ashe to the all, Ashe to you, Ashe to Source, Ashe to our 7 African Orishas, Ashe to our ancestors, Ashe to you today for joining my live. I know that you had a great day on yesterday, and a lot of people celebrated Mother's Day. And, I had that experience yesterday with my daughter, being able to be with her and my granddaughter, and such showing how raising the vibration of the planet with love. And I seen how others were just loving their mother, and it's just really, it really touched me deeply that how people really love their parents, and then that they even though they have, just like on the Gregorian calendar, that they set just one day aside to recognize mothers. But as I look and see that, from my experience I have in my house, wherever I go, is that my children love me every day. And so I'm grateful, to have that experience, that they want to go a extra step. Happy New Day, Michelle. They want to go an extra step of showing their unconditional love for their mother. And so I wanted to get on here and really show you how I continue to share about the spiritual path of awakening, and how we can see the positive as well as the negative, to begin to see the balance in that area of using universal laws. And so I began to think about mother, the feminine energy, and the role that the mother actually plays, or the actually script that the mother is actually in, the female is actually in. And that you can see for yourself that if you go all the way back and understand creation, you will see that the first thing was created, it says earth, right? It says earth, so it says that, so mother earth, so everything was created, earth. She is considered as mother earth. And so everything else was created after her. But they're all on the same day. But in the Bible, it may say on this day, on that day, on that day, and that day. But when everything comes from the all, it's all the same day. So I wanted to paint and see the picture of the responsibility that the mother has, and that how we, as being a mother, let's talk about the feminine energy. And so the feminine energy has been like more to where has not really been, because we have been in that sleep stage. Happy New Day, Natoya. Because we have not been awake, we have been programmed to see the masculine energy more than the feminine energy. So you have the masculine energy, man in the role of just being leader, being this, and having their, in the Bible, a woman submit to a man runs this, the man is the head, and all this, painted all these pictures. But if you go all the way back and begin to understand Egyptian ancient writers and stuff, you will see how the female, as being the strong one, she is the warrior. Nothing actually happens unless the female actually be the one to say something would happen. And so you see over here in this Western world how things have changed, had changed to masculine energy, and now it's being changed back of the awakening. Begin to see the feminine energy has returned back into the planet. So we have the feminine energy and the masculine energy, understanding the universal laws, which is the law of polarity, which makes out the balance. So you can't have one without the other. And so you have been programmed to see the man in the role. I mean, I know a lot of in society they have put where a woman can't preach, a woman can't say this. It has to be a man. A man has to be. She has to go consult with the man before she even gets up and do anything. What does the preacher say? What did the man say? What did the deacon say? You know, and that is all a part of religion. That is not. They even painted a picture to where God is a male. God is energy. God is spirit. And so the male and the female thing has been created to keep division. The division, it says, I can't see which chapter it is in the Bible. There's neither male nor female. So the energy is neither male nor female. The spirit is spirit. And so whether the spirit rests inside of you, whichever role you playing, whichever part you playing in your life right now, perhaps that's why they said a man is the head, a man needs to take the responsibility. But actually, if you go back and do your history in African ancient writings, ancient documents, you will see that the woman was the warrior. She was the warrior. I can even use what's written in Christianity as, for example, Deborah and I think when Lord one of them wouldn't go and fight, and he went back and got Deborah and told Deborah about it. Deborah said, okay, he said, could you go with me? So Deborah said, yes, I'll go with you, but you won't get to take the credit. But, you know, the credit went to the female. So we're learning and began to see, if you would see how the picture has been painted, how they have been downgrading the woman, listen to the music, music that's being played, and the frequency, the vibration from the music, like 440, that those that own the music, those that have the rights to the music, are playing music and stuff in a certain frequency, so that you don't recognize that the energy that's coming from the music is really to downgrade you as well as the mother. Some of the artists, they play music and stuff, and they talk about the female. They strip her clothes off of her. They really talk really bad about the woman. But I'm here to let you know today, on this beautiful, wonderful, happy moon day that we're in right now, nothing exists without the female. Every human being on this planet came through a womb of a woman. So it's very important that the female is honored, that she is recognized, that she is given respect. You see that nothing. And if you look out at nature and understand, because nature always shows us how the mother has been neglected. Because, for example, look how we had been not honoring the Mother Earth, and you see bringing it here in the earth right now, the woman has not been honored. The woman has been downplayed. Now you see in the spirit, so has the woman in the earth been downplayed. And so on the Gregorian calendar, I will also share this with you. If you knew history as well, in the Catholic, they have a black Madonna. A black Madonna. Do you know that the Pope give honor? He kisses the statue of the black Madonna, which is supposed to be Mary, which is, and they honor as Mary as being melanated. So a lot of you, because the black woman, the melanated woman is God, and because she gives birth, she birthed into everything comes through the female. Man that disrespects female, she is God. She is the creator. And well, they're probably saying, what are you talking about? Even the Jesus that people that they say that they worship came through the female. So we, as on the spiritual path of awakening, understand the role that the woman is in. And so unless you really understand that, even it says honor your mother. It says honor your mother as well as your father. We have to honor and respect your mother because she is God. How did you get here? Did you come through the womb of your father, or did you come through the womb of the mother, of the woman? So I'm really but I'm sharing some important things that mothers should be honored. Excuse me, y'all know what I've been doing, burning my eucalyptus too. We really need to see that the mother is to be honored not just one day of the week, but every day of the week. Love. What is love? Love is unconditionally. And when you really see how love is, I look and I saw how people respected mother by things that you gave your parents and stuff. But I also want you to see, because we're going to balance out that scale. We know that the system is designed to make you also, with commercialism, to spend money, to get money from you. We also know that on the Gregorian calendar, who created the Gregorian calendar? It's a Greek Roman. We know that. And so we have to go back and see how the I am divine created everything to be. The spirit. Spirit is not neither male nor female. Spirit is the great spirit. Native, we call the great spirit, or the great mother. And when you begin to understand how important it is that your days may be long upon this land, is by honoring the mother, which is the creator. There is such documentation of, what are the people? I can't think of the name of the group of the tribe of people that, it's not the Aztec people, but anyway, I can't think of it right now. But anyway, when you begin to really understand how important a woman is in your life, your mother is, remember, mothers is raising their daughters up to be female as well, and men need to respect the woman, because the woman is God to you. Even though you may not have come through her womb, you came through a womb of a female. Nothing exists in this planet unless they come through the womb of a female. Someone get the door, please, through the womb. So what I wanted to share also on my live, love you live, this is what I wanted to share, the coming of the guardians. And I'm going to read a short script about the coming of the guardians. And so with the change and stuff that's taking place in the land, us not fearing, us not being having fear, because the mother is the one, she's the protector. She is the protector of the home. She's the protector in the family, even though it shows when the man goes out and do the work. But the mother is the one, she is considered as the warrior. She is considered as a protector. She's also considered as a provider. She is the one that they come to get all advice. She is the one that she is the praying woman. She's the one that prays to keep the family together. She is the one that's strong one. She's usually the one that takes everybody else problems and things on her. So she's usually the one that has to carry the whole load in the family. So let's, I wanted to read this one. Anyway, it says the coming of the guardian. And remember, I shared this is a world message for the coming decade. And so the coming of the guardian is sharing with what is actually taking place. So you don't need to have fear. This is a book that was written some years ago. And I don't have how old the book is, but I felt that I wanted to share this very important information with you. While the world appears to crumble, some are frantic, crazed with fear. Become at last meek and humble, certain now end times are here. As Harley they have existed, pantomiming pattern of destruction, living, breathing, false illusion. Why must it take a crisis? So this writing here is sharing about before. The same thing that's happening now has happened before. And so at the time we're in, facing all these different illusions, facing all these trials and stuff, that those that are on the spiritual path of awakening, those that have not awakened, are facing this illusion. So now you are awakened and understand everything that's happening is an illusion, and they're telling you not to have fear, because this has taken place before. There have been wars. There have been times where the earth with germs and stuff, this all has happened before. It's not the first time this has happened. It has happened before. Why must it take a crisis for souls to share and trust and help each other through times of history so rare? Yet trusting ones have not to fear. They have ready for this final scene and in God's plan for earth new birth. So we have already been prepared for this. Those that are awakened, those that are on the spiritual path of a journey, that are on this ascension path, that have know who they are. They know they incarnated into this planet at this time. They know that they come from somewhere. They know that they are star seeds. They know that they're light workers. So their plans, their birth plans, birth chart, and all that stuff has been revealed to them, who they are and what they're supposed to be doing at this time here. So they are aware of all of this. So this is not nothing new. So that's why when you start seeing the energy of fear going through here, and I shared with my daughter the other day about the words that came to me was talking about Egypt, because I can only relate to what's in the Bible. So when it was talking about Egypt and it was talking about the plagues and stuff, there have been a lot of plagues and things in this earth. The plagues may have not come in the form of what they talked about in Egypt in the Bible, according to what we know, but there have been plagues. And so what is actually happening, being revealed to me, it was talking about the germ that's going through the earth right now, through this planet right now, and it was talking about the energy or the low vibration of death, and that the energy that's going through, and it said it actually was one of the plagues. What was been, I was like, because I shared it with my daughter. So when you begin to understand and know who you are, you have no fear. When you begin to know that you are source, you are creator in human form, you don't fear what's going on. I know a lot of us wear masks, a lot of us wear gloves, because a lot of us don't go certain places. So we're going through the stages of a new birth. And so when I say a new birth, what was being shared with me when I was driving in today, it was sharing with me about the earth and how the different stages that the earth goes through. So in winter, it says everything dies, right? Everything's like goes in the ground. It's just buried, right? It just dies. And then it says in springtime, it's like what was buried begins to resurrect, right? So it begins to resurrect. So it also gives me just the stage of the butterfly. So it told me today, my guys were sharing me with the earth. So they wanted me to go and asked me to see earth. And so in winter, things die. And they wanted me to compare it to the human body as well. And so in wintertime, stuff dies. Stuff goes in hibernate. We talk about the bear. He goes in the cave and he hibernates. What about the symbolically of the human being? And so at springtime, it says that things begin to resurrect. Things begin to birth again. So the human being began to birth again. And then actually with spring, then it said, what's the next season? So the next season began to be summer. And summer began. And then summer, everything just blossom again. So we're going through these stages, and it said just like nature talks to us. And so we need to pay attention to nature, because nature is alive. And so nature is a way for us to understand our journey here on this earth as well, because we go through the same stages as nature do, as the earth does. So when it says everything goes down into the ground, it's like everything goes into the womb, like you're in the womb and you're going through the birthing stages all over again. And so springtime. So springtime, you begin to rise up. You coming out, boom. You're rising up. And then at summer, you're actually going through the birth. You are actually being born. And this pattern keeps going over and over. It's like a cycle, the cycle of life, and it goes over and over. It would be example also of the caterpillar, as well as being the seed, as well as being the worm, as well as being going into the cocoon, as well as coming out as the butterfly. And so those are stages that the human being goes through here on this planet, not knowing that we probably wasn't aware that we was going to go through these stages before we return to the spiritual path of awakening, begin to awaken to the butterfly, who we actually are, through the stages of metamorphosis. We didn't know that we had to go through these stages, but we agreed to come here and to experience this life experience that we're having. We wanted to be a human. We wanted to experience these different types of emotions. We wanted to have this experience. We wanted to know what it was to be happy. We wanted to know what it was to experience sadness. We wanted to know all of this. We wanted to know what it was to be a human. And so now that we are having this experience, now that we're going through these changes in life, and now we are starting to have synchronicities, now we're starting to be made aware that, we're starting to have like, deja vus of things that we've been here before, that I know this person, that I've come in contact with this person. We're starting to have past life scenes in our life. We're starting to understand that, I met that person before. I've been here before. Wait a minute, I seem like I'm living this all over again. So these are things that's actually taking place in your life because you are on the spiritual path of awakening. You are on the ascension path. And so now that you are experiencing this, it's like you're coming out as that butterfly. And so now you are considered as like what they say, the coming of the guardians, because you have been planted. You have agreed to come in here in this earth for this time, because the timing that's going on with the low energy and the love, because you are love and source is love. So therefore you are going through this spiritual awakening because you are love. And so with you being love and spreading love, that energy of fear, which is a low vibration, and the powerful energy of love is raising the frequency through the planet. So therefore, it causes this changing to take place in this earth. What changing are you talking about? If you look out in nature, you see the beautiful colors of the tree. You begin to give gratitude. You begin to just appreciate nature. You begin to appreciate everything around you. You begin to just love yourself even more. And when you begin to love yourself more, you're loving Mother Earth. And when you're loving, because we are her children, we are in her womb. Just like we are in the womb of Mother Earth, our children were in the womb of us. And so it's the same, as above, so below, as in, so without. And so you begin to understand the universal laws, because everything on this planet is governed by universal laws. Mother Earth is governed by the universal law. And so the cosmos is governed by the universal laws. So when we begin to understand the law of attraction, law of polarity, the law of cause and effect, the law as above, so below, when we begin to understand all the universal laws, we will begin to see how everything is governed by this planet. Like they have, like the universal laws govern this planet. Then there's another government that's governed over this earth, over this planet here. So now we understand that the universal law as above. So the government that's down here as below. So they're governing this planet. So now that you are not from this planet, you are not of this planet, that you know that you are from another planet, which is you are star seed, and that you are light worker. You know that you're from another planet. So therefore you're governed by the universal laws. And understanding that the universal laws is what govern the planet here. And so even though there is a government that's over here, but they are still under the universal laws. And so I know we have like the universal laws, and so now you also have in the Bible, they have where the Ten Commandments, which is called the law. You have the laws of the Old Testament. So as above, so below. The universal laws, we have the Ten Commandments. The 613 laws, we have all that. The Levitical laws, we have all that. Understanding now that all this returns all the way back to the universal law. So on this journey, on this spiritual path of awakening, returning to who we are is understanding the universal laws, because our life, our journey is according to the universal laws. As for us to receive what we need to maneuver in this earth here is from the universal laws, and it is controlled by your thinking. In the Kybalion, it says that the universe is mental. So if the universe is mental, that means that when we think about the universal laws, that is what will manifest in our life. So if we're thinking opposite of the universal laws, guess what? That is what will manifest in our life. If we're thinking lack, that's totally against the law of attraction. The law of attraction is if you think it, it will manifest. If you're thinking negative of it, guess what? It will manifest too. The law of attraction is whatever you think is what draws. It's like a magnet. Whatever you're thinking, it is draw it to you. So even let's say what this, as a man thinketh, so is he. According to the Bible, according to scripture, it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. According to the universal law, it says the universe is mental. So it also, as above, so below. As within, so without. So the journey is understanding what are the universal laws. What are how are they governing our life right now? So what are the universal laws? Because before we incarnated in here, we understood what the universal laws were. Okay. Where was I? Have placed their trust in him, unseen, but right or wrong, it makes no difference, for all are one in his dear sight. And coming soon is their deliverance, but first his message of light will come from other galaxies, in deep concern for earth despair. Think you that your earth can fall while brothers, sisters' world stand idly by? And tell you. So when we came here, man was separated from source, from what everything came from. So it was like we were in a fallen state. So man was in a fallen state, which means man was in hell. So the life that we lived before the spiritual awakening was we were in hell. We were experiencing hell. Sickness, lack, doubt, being without, homeless, all those things are hell because that's opposite of love. So when we incarnated in here, we was in hell. And it says, even when it talks about in the Bible that Michael had to wrestle with Lucifer and the angels, and he was kicked down to the third heaven, where the earth was considered as the third heaven. So we were in a fallen state. So now that we are awakening on the spiritual path of awakening, we realize we are not realizing, but we are aware now that this resurrection, this awakening, this ascension is the new birth. This is what we consider as the rapture. The awakening. This is returning to who you are. That's what it is about the rapture, the awakening, the ascension. And so we were in a fallen state. And so we were taught in Christianity that we had to have a savior to be the one to get us out of this fallen state. So we had to, enter into a contract with a deity and invite the deity into our heart to save us for us not going to hell. But then we begin to understand that on this path, it says the kingdom of heaven is within you. So if the kingdom of heaven is within you, remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. So if the kingdom of heaven is within you, so the kingdom of hell was in you as well. And so you balance out the scale. The law of polarity is two poles. You got the negative and you got the positive. They both are together. You can't have one without the other. So when you go through things in life, you're learning how to understand the law of polarity to balance out the poles. And so when you are on this spiritual path and you begin to not so much, before the spiritual path, you were being taught in the school, because we're in the school of university. We're in the universal school. So the universal school, we go through all different types of religion. We go through all different denominations. We go through all the school of learning. We go to grade school. Earth is a school. And so we're in the school, so we go into, we go through all this, we learn all this religion, we learn all this stuff about history, we learn about all of that until we are completed that, and then we arrive at the time of the awakening. On this spiritual path of awakening, now we begin to, just like that, we're in that cocoon. So on the spiritual path of awakening, we were in that cocoon. So all that we learned, all that we ate, it's just like the caterpillar. We ate so much from everything. We were taught this. We listened to this person. We listened to this person on the radio. We look at this person on the TV. We believe this preacher more. We believe that preacher. We say, oh, we can't go to that preacher because that preacher right there, he teaches more than that preacher said don't do this. We listen to T.D. Jakes. Then we listen to Joel Osteen and all them that are on this religious contract, have entered into this religious contract with this deity Jesus. And I'm gonna show you something else. Don't misunderstand. There is a Jesus that was Christ conscious, but then there's also a physical another Jesus that walked this earth. So you need to understand the difference in the two. So the one that Jesus that I'm talking about is Christ conscious. The one that I'm giving the illustration about is the one that was not steering people the right way, but trying to get people to worship it. That's a deity that was and created by these low entities that's on ruling this governing this planet now to try to get people to continue to believe in it and to worship it. And so therefore that give your energy. It's like they're trying to continue to use that deity so that they can have food to eat, which is energy. They want to prolong their life, prolong their time here. So they gave you that deity so that the more you worship that deity, the more the energy they suck from you. So now I'm sharing about the one that's Christ conscious. So, I already shared what I'm saying on that. So anyway, when you begin to know the difference of that you are creator and that you are not allowing your energy to be sucked from you, the energy vampires to suck your energy, because now you're paying attention to where you're giving your energy to. I hope this resonating with you, because it's resonating with me, and I'm understanding that life